I just bought a used set of doors for my Jeep, and I want to make the key that I already have for my ignition work on these. To get started, I'm taking out these 5 screws that hold the interior panel in. They're T15. It's the same process for half doors and hard doors, just a different amount of screws. These two hold the handle in place. And once they're out, the handle just pulls right out. This is a T20, and I'm not actually going to take the latch out. I just want to loosen it up. It makes it a lot easier to remove the interior panel if this is loose. This body toolkit is very inexpensive and really useful. This is the technique for removing these plugs. These are the pieces that the upper doors fit into, and to remove them you just kind of twist them and pull them. Very easy. Now I'm popping these clips on the inside using the tools and pulling up on the interior piece with my hand. These tools are very soft plastic, so most of the force here is from my other hand pulling up. Okay, the clips that I just popped up are the 5 white pieces around the edges, and using the tools they came out cleanly. They'll go right back in. To disconnect the rod from the lock is very simple. You slide the clip to the side and lift the rod from the center. All of the rods in the door work the same way. Now I'm removing the spring steel clip that retains the lock, just using a pair of linesman's pliers to pull it out. And you can see the curves in it that put tension on the lock and keep it in place. Now I'm going to remove the lock itself. It goes through a circular hole that has 4 ridges on the outside of it. The cool thing with that is that 3 of the ridges are the same size. One is a little bit smaller, so the lock only goes through in one orientation. I'm taking the C-clip off the back. And that retains the arm that moved that rod back and forth. Additionally, I'm going to take off the rubber seal that sits on the outside of the door. Now I have to take off the chrome faceplate. I'm going to use a pair of linesman's pliers, and using the cutting edge, I'm going to just grip the edge of this thing. It's the same as opening a paint can or any other kind of can. You just go a little bit around the edge, turn it, do a little bit more, and eventually the whole thing will pop off. But just a little at a time. This piece is a throwaway. You can go ahead and damage it. Okay. After that's off, you can pull the cylinder out of the lock housing. And now we have access to the 7 pins that determine how the key works. These pins go up and down, and they ride on little small springs. So to remove them is very simple. You just kind of wiggle it around a little bit and pop it out. And then you can pull the spring out as well. So first I'm going to replace the spring with a new one. I dropped one. And now you can see on the table I have a chart of the last lock that I did. This is the second door that I'm working on. So I'm replacing the keys or pins, whatever you want to call them, with the correct size. There are 4 possible sizes, 1 through 4. And I've just got a chart on the table of what they were on the last one. So with those matched up to the other door, I'm going to try it with the key. And as it turns out, it does not work. One of the pins on this one is different from a pin on the other door. I'm not sure why it still worked, but there's a discrepancy. So I'm taking out the pin that is blocking it, and this time it's a little tight, so I'm going to use the needle nose to help me get it out of there. And all I can think is that it's pretty mucked up. It must have just been sticking and not working. I can't even read the number on it. That is a 4. Since I've been working with these, I can kind of tell that I think it should be a 2, so that's what I'm going to replace it with. And first we'll take out the spring. That is too bad to keep, so I'm going to just toss it and replace it with a new one. And I'm going to replace that pin with a number 2. And that works. And just so I don't forget. Okay, I keep the good used stuff in that kit, but the bad spring I threw away. So the next thing is to replace the faceplate, and I picked these up off eBay as well. They simply fit over the top, and then you fold these little tabs down around the side. I just pressed them with a screwdriver. It was really easy. Okay, there's 4 of them, and it's locked on. The blue stuff is just a protective coating, and everything works. Okay, so I'm going to put the rubber seal back on, and that only fits one way because of the different size ridges. This can go on 2 different ways. This is the arm that turns the rod. It's the same lock for passenger and driver's side, so there are 2 possible ways this can go on. If you don't remember which way it goes, give it a shot, and you'll know on the next step if it's wrong. The C-clip goes back on to retain the arm. And it fits back through the door. Again, it can only fit one way. And the spring steel goes back on to keep the lock in place. Okay, the rod fits back into the center of the lock, and the little retainer just clips right onto it. Now I'm reassembling the door. This is why I loosened up that the latch before. It makes it a lot easier to align the door if it's loose. And then just pop those 5 pieces back into place. The screws go back in. The top pieces go back in. And I picked these up as well off eBay. They're brand new pins, or Amazon. I'll put a link in the description. And they simply replace the ones that we pulled out before. They just press into place. That's it.